अखण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। असाध्यः साधकस्वामिन् असाध्यं तव किं वद रामदूतकृपा सिन्धो मत्कार्यं साधय प्रभो। Okay, before I start the class, I just wanted to show you one thing in the course website. So if you are able to see this, basically what I'm showing here is the first class contents being uploaded. The text of Sadratnamala is available here. So we will be using this as the text going forward. So if you see, it is Sadratnamala of Shankaravarma Maharaja Virachita Sadratnamala iti. Tatra introduction asti in English language. You can read it when you have time. So the text of the shlokas are available starting here. So we will go through this. So only the text is available. We'll go through the first two chapters of this text. Okay. We'll now go back to the presentation. Okay. तर्हि मङ्गलाचरणं गतवर्गे मङ्गलाचरणं तु आरम्भं कृतवन्तः, परन्तु इदानीं किञ्चित् पुनः तस्य पदच्छेदः पदपरिचयः पदान्वयः श्लोकार्थम् अपि कुर्मः। श्रीपार्वत्याश्च लोकावनिधर सरिदाराम सान्निध्यवत्याः पादाम्बोजं गुरूणामपि सततम् अनुस्मृत्य नत्वारुणादीन् ज्योतिषशास्त्राब्धिकीर्णां विशद गणितसारोक्ति सद्रत्नमालां संगृह्यैनां लिखामः पिपटिषु जनसन्धारणा स्वल्पयत्नाम् इति श्लोकः। पदच्छेदः श्रीपार्वत्याः च लोकावनिधर सरिदाराम सान्निध्यवत्याः पादाम्बोजं गुरूणाम् अपि सततम् अनुस्मृत्य नत्वा अरुणादीन् ज्योतिषशास्त्राब्धिकीर्णां विशद गणित सारोक्ति सद्रत्नमालां संगृह्य एनां लिखामः पिपटिषु जनसन्धारणा स्वल्पयत्नाम् इति पदच्छेदः। तर्हि पदे पदे किमस्ति अपि च पदपरिचयं कारयामि। पदच्छेदः अत्र अस्ति। पदपरिचयः एवमस्ति। लोक अवनिधर सरित् आरामः इत्यस्य लोकमलयार् तावु इति। अत्र लोक इत्युक्ते पृथिवी, अवनिधरः इत्युक्ते पर्वतः इति अर्थः। पर्वतस्य मलयाळभाषायां मला इति उच्यते। सरित् इति चेत् नदी इति अर्थः। तस्य मलयाळभाषायाम् आर् इति उच्यते। अतः लोकमलयार् इति उच्यते। आरामः इत्युक्ते काव्, तदेव काव् इति उक्तवान्। उद्यानम् इति चिन्तयन्तु। अत्र प्रायः बहवः वृक्षाः सन्ति। इट्स् प्रापर्लि अ ग्रोव् इफ् यू वाण्ट् टु से। तर्हि काव् इत्युक्ते ग्रोव्। सो इन् केरला, in the Malabar region, the Kerala region, basically North Kerala, most of the temples are surrounded by some vegetation, and it also belongs to the temple. So the temple is amidst the trees. Loka avanidhara saridharamaha loka malayar kavu arunadayaha. Arunadayaha itukte suryadayaha. Arunadayaha suryadayaha. Surya Chandra iti navagraha devataha iti. Jyotish-shastrabdhi kirna. Ityad Jyotish-shastrabdhau kirna. Kirna itukte vikshipta, scattered iti artha. Jyotish-shastrabdhau. Jyotish-shastrabdhihi itukte kim? Jyotish-shastrameva abdihi. Samudraha. Jyotish-shastraha samudraha iva asti. Tasmin vikshipta. Vikshipta itukte scattered. Tarhi atra in the sea of Jyotish-shastra yet which is scattered. Kim asti tatra samudre vikshipta ka vishada ganita sarokti sadratnamala asti. Tatra ratnani santi. Ratnani tani ratnani mala iva aham karomi. Tatra sadratnamala. Satam ratnanam mala sadratnamala iti. Tatra sadratnamala ka ganita saroktihi. Ganita sarasya uktihi sa. Ganita saram asti tasya sa vadati. Ganita sarameva vadati. Ataha sa ganita saroktihi sadratnamala. Vishada itukte spashta. Vishada ganita sarokti sadratnamala iti. Ataha vishada ganita saroktihi iti sadratnamala. Ka sadratnamala? Satam ratnanam mala eva sadratnamala. Ratnam iti tatra ratnam iti kimartham? Ratnam eva tatra Jyotisha shastram iti samudraha asti. Tasmin ratnani santi. Ataha tani ratnani upayujya aham malam karomi iti satam ratnanam mala sadratnamala. Teshu ratneshu api uttamani ratnani chinomi. Bahuni ratnani santi parantu satam ratnanam mala sadratnamala. Sangrihya sangrahanam kritva. Aham sangrahanam karomi tasya ratnanam sangrahanam kritva atra likhamaha. Sangrihe enam likhamaha. Kimartham likami? Pipatishu jana sandharana swalpayatnam. Pipatishu itukte ye patitum ichuhu pipatishu. Ye patitum ichanti tebhyaha aham likhami. Swalpayatnam. Swalpayatnena ye kartum shaknuvanti te eva iti. Ataha atraiva asti. Lokavanidhara sarid aramah lokamalaya kavu. Avanidharaha itukte parvataha. Sarit itukte nadi. Aramaha itukte udyanam kavu. Padambojam itukte padakamalam. Atra padambojam iti asti. Padakamalam. Arunadaya suryadeha navagraha devataha. Natva namaskritya. Jyotish-shastrabdihi itukte Jyotish-shastram eva abdihi samudraha. Tasmin vikirnaha. Atra kirnaha. Jyotish-shastrabdi kirnaha vikshiptaha. Vikshipta Jyotish vikirna kirna Jyotish-shastrabdi kirna vikshipta. Vishada ganita sarokti sadratnamala. Vishada itukte spashta. Ganita saroktihi iti sadratnamala. Ganita saroktihi itukte kim? Ganita saraha uchyate anaya iti karanakarakam. Ganita saroktihi anaya iti ganita saroktihi sadratnamala. Satam itukte uttamanam ratnanam mala sadratnamala. Pipatishu jana sandharana swalpayatnam. Pipatishu jananam manasi nidhaya. Pipatishu janan manasi nidhaya. Tarhi aham pipatishu janaha eva mama manasi santi. Target audience iti vadamah khalu. Ye patitum ichanti. Ganitasaram ganitam patitum ichanti te eva mama target audience iti asti. Vadati. Janan manasi nidhaya swalpayatnam eva avashyakam tasyaha iti. Swalpayatnam eva avashyakam tesham iti bhavitavyam. Tesham tam iti atra. अपि च तस्याः अपि भवितुमर्हति. अत्र सद्रत्नमालां पठितुं स्वल्पयत्नमेव आवश्यकम् इति. तर्हि ताम् इति द्वितीया विभक्ति. अत्र एकः प्रश्नः अस्ति, कैन यू टेल द मीनिंग इन इंग्लिश फॉर दिस? एवम् अहं बहु सरलसंस्कृतेन वदामि. I am telling the meaning in very simple Sanskritam. If I tell in English, I am losing some translation. So I do not want to go there. And the whole point of this course is to be in Sanskritam so that we can understand, we can get the deeper meanings. If I go in English, you can always pick a book and read the English book. Okay? तर्हि मङ्गलाचरणस्य श्लोकार्थः एवम् अस्ति. लोकमलयार्कावु मन्दिरस्य देवतायाः श्रीपार्वत्याः पादकमलं पादाम्बोजं गुरूणामपि पादकमलं सततम् अनुस्मृत्य पुनः पुनः स्मरणं कृत्वा सूर्यादीन् अरुणादीन् इति अस्ति, सूर्यादीन् नवग्रहदेवताः नत्वा ज्योतिषशास्त्रम् इति समुद्रे विक्षिप्तां स्पष्टां गणितसारोक्तिं सङ्ग्रहं कृत्वा गणितशास्त्रं पठितुम् इच्छुकान् मनसि निधाय स्वल्पयत्नेन अधिगन्तुम् एनां सद्रत्नमालां लिखामः इति. तत्र लिखामः इति बहुवचने अस्ति, परन्तु संस्कृतभाषायां यदा लिखामः वयं लिखामः इति, यदि अहं किमपि लिखामि वयं लिखामः इति वदनमपि तत्र व्यवहारे अस्ति. पीपल् यूस् द बहुवचनरूपं to tell that I am writing. Tarhi kav iti groves of trees around a temple in Kerala. So if you see that in Kerala, if you go, most of you might know, it's called kav. अवनिधरः इत्यस्य व्युत्पत्तिः कोऽपि अवनिः इत्युक्ते भूमिः, धर इत्युक्ते धरति, अवनिं धरति इति अवनिधरः. पर्वतः पर्वतः अत्र भूमिं धरति इति तस्य व्युत्पत्तिः. तर्हि तत्र अनुबन्धचतुष्टयम् इति अस्ति. अनुबन्धचतुष्टयं नाम अहं पूर्वमपि उक्तवान्. सो इफ् यू वाण्ट् टु रैट् अ बुक्, you need to have a reason why you're writing the book, not just because I'm bored at home or something, because I want to write or something. So basically, there is people write meaning, reason why in Vedanta texts, all commentators write a reason why they have written this commentary. For example, Shankaracharya in his commentary for Bhagavad Gita, he writes why he's writing a commentary. He says that there are so many commentaries and why I chose to write a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So like that, he writes a very clear commentary on this Anubandha Chatushtayam. Kaha Adhikari, who's the target audience, who's prerequisite. For example, if you want to go and sit in a class, you have to have a prerequisite. For this class, I said, okay, you should have an interest in mathematics, you should understand basic high school mathematics, and you should understand Shloka Anvayaha. Tatha Adhikari kaha iti ched Ganitashastra Pipatishavah iti tatra purvamapi uktam. Pipatishu jananam iti. अत्र गणितशास्त्रे गणितशास्त्रं पठितुम् इच्छा भवेत्, तर्हि सः अधिकारी. विषयः कः? ज्योतिषशास्त्रं. विषयः ज्योतिषशास्त्राधिकीर्ण इति अस्ति, अतः विषयः ज्योतिषशास्त्रं. प्रयोजनम् इत्युक्ते तत्र पर्पस्, किमर्थम् अहं तत्र किमर्थं लिखामि इति चेत् स्वल्पयत्नेन अधिगमनं. ज्योतिषशास्त्रम् इति बृहत् समुद्रः अस्ति, ततः वयम् अत्र कथं पठामः, अतः संक्षिप्तेन किमपि लिखामि इति चेत् इति कृत्वा स्वल्पयत्नेन अधिगमनमेव प्रयोजनं. सो दट् इस् द रीजन् वै ही इस् रैटिङ्ग् द बुक्. अनन्तरं सम्बन्धः नाम, सो दर् इस् यू केन्, वाट् इस् द कनेक्षन् बिट्वीन् अधिकारः, विषयः प्रयोजनम् इति सर्वं किमपि लेखितुं शक्नोति. सः स्पष्टां गणितसारोक्तिं सङ्ग्रहणं. सो ही इस् ट्रैङ्ग् consolidate everything in one place, so that is the sambandha. So vishayasya prayojanasyapi tatra sambandha likhyate. So this is, so generally in the Mangala shloka, most of the acharyas write the anubandha chatushtayam. So they express why they are writing the book. So in the first line, Shankara Varma wrote, he did the prayer to everybody, his family goddess Lokamba, Anantaram Gurunam iti chet गणित आचार्याणाम् इति अर्थः। अनन्तरं अरुणादीनपि। सो नवग्रहदेवताः एव प्रधानाः खलु। So they are the most important for Jyotish Shastram. So he also takes their blessings. After that, in the second line, he writes the reason why he is writing the book. Okay, so that is the Anubandha Chatushtayam. Okay. तर्हि द्वितीयः श्लोकः निरुपाधिकृपादीन् उपासे क्षितिपीयूषभुजो महानुभावान् यदनुग्रहतो विधूतदोषः परिपूर्णाखिलमङ्गलो भवेयम्। पुनः पठामि। निरुपाधिकृपादीन् उपासे क्षितिपीयूषभुजो महानुभावान् यदनुग्रहतो विधूतदोषः परिपूर्णोऽखिलमङ्गलो भवेयम्। तर्हि निरुपाधिकृपादीन् उपासे क्षितिपीयूषभुजः महानुभावान् यदनुग्रहतः विधूतदोषः परिपूर्णाखिलमङ्गलः भवेयम् इति पदच्छेदः। तर्हि पदपरिचयं पठामः। निरुपाधिः इत्युक्ते उपाधिरहितम्। उपाधिः मीन्स् attributes, features. उपाधिरहितम् attributeless, featureless इति। अत्र परब्रह्मं तत्र निर्गुणपरब्रह्मम् इति अर्थः। तत्र निरुपाधिः कृपाधिः कृपासमुद्रः कृपाधिः अत्र धीः इति अन्ते अस्ति चेत् इदानीं कृपाधिः इति चेत् कृपासमुद्रः इति अर्थः। तथा तत्र कृपासमुद्रः। अनन्तरं क्षितिपीयूषभुक् इति चेत् तत्र यः भूलोके क्षितिः नाम भूमिः। क्षितिः इत्युक्ते भूमिः। यः भूलोके पीयूषं भुङ्क्ते इत्युक्ते पिबति इति अर्थः। पीयूषं नाम अमृतम्। अत्र के अमृतं पिबन्ति? देवाः एव पिबन्ति। अतः भूलोकदेवः इति अर्थः। क्षितिपीयूषभुक् इति चेत् भूलोकदेवः। भूलोके एव ते देवाः इव सन्ति इति। के ते? आचार्यः महानुभावान् इति अस्ति सः। तत्र आचार्य पुरुषानेव तस्य पूर्वाचार्यानेव सः नमति। अत्र पूर्वमपि उक्तवान् केरला मैथमेटिशियन्स् इति अस्ति। ते एव तेषां तस्य पूर्वजाः आसन्। सो फ्रम् स्टार्टिङ्ग् फ्रम् माधव till all the way till Narayana Bhattatri are all his previous teachers. So he's praying to them. He is calling them Kshiti Piyusha Bhuk. Kshiti Piyusha Bhujaha iti Dvitiya Bahuvachanam. Tarhi Nirupadi Krupadeen iti Dvitiya Bahuvachanam. Kshiti Piyusha Bhujaha iti Dvitiya Bahuvachanam. Mahanubhavan iti Dvitiya Bahuvachanam. Ataha Ham Upase iti ched Dhyayami. Upasate iti Prathama-purusha Rupam. Upase iti Uttama-purusha Rupam. Dhyayami. Aham Dhyayami. Kan Dhyayami? Nirupadi Krupadeen. So they are Guru Sakshat Parabrahma iti vadama kalu. Tatha. So he is saying those teachers are Parabrahma itself. And then Kripadi, Kripa Samudraha, they are Kripa Samudraha. Kimartam Kripa Samudraha. So they don't, why are they Kripa Samudraha? They know what they have learned, and also they have written books so that other people also are benefiting from their works. Ataha they Kripanidayah santi. Astu. Kshitipuyusha Bhujaha, Bhuloka Devaha, te तान उपासे ध्यायामि यद अनुग्रहतः येषाम अनुग्रहतः विधूत दोषः कंपित दोषः निवारित दोषः विधूत नाम शेकन ऑफ इति अर्थः मत्तः दोषः निवारितः अस्ति अतः निवारित दोषः अहम् निवारितः दोषः येन यस्मात् सः निवारित दोषः तथा विधूत दोषः परिपूर्णाखिलमङ्गलः परिपूर्णस्य अखिलस्य मङ्गलं येन सह अहं परिपूर्णाखिलमङ्गलः भवेयम् इति अहं भवानि इति प्रायः प्रार्थनार्थे विजिलिङ्ग् अत्र भवेयम् इति परिपूर्ण अखिलमङ्गलः अहं परिपूर्णस्य लोकस्य मङ्गलकारकः भवामि इति प्रार्थना तदेव सः एव अर्थः अत्र अतः अहं विधूतदोषः अहं परिपूर्णाखिलमङ्गलः भवेयम् इति प्रार्थना तर्हि श्लोकार्थः कः उपाधिरहित कृपासमुद्रान् भूलोकदेवान् महानुभावान् पूर्वाचार्यान् ध्यायामि येषाम् अनुग्रहेण अहं निवारितदोषः परिपूर्णस्य अखिलस्य मङ्गलकारकः भवेयम् इति प्रार्थये इति तस्य प्रार्थना इति द्वितीयः मङ्गलाचरणश्लोकः ओके इदानीं ग्रन्थनिर्माणे प्रोत्साहनम् इति अस्ति सः एतं ग्रन्थं लिखति तत्र प्रोत्साहनं किमपि इन्स्पिरेशन् अथवा somebody should goad him to write this book. So he talks about that in this shloka. Shri Porlatri Vamshamautika Mautika Manehe Shri Keralankృతే Raryasyodaya Varmanaha Shubhamatehe Shri Bhaimi Bhumipatehe श्रीमत् सोदर रामवर्म युवराजार्याज्ञया तन्यते तंत्रं शंकरवर्मणेदमखिल ज्योतिर्विदां प्रीतये पुनः पठामि श्री पोर्लात्रिवंश मौक्तिकमणेः श्री केरलालंकृते आर्यस्योदयवर्मणः शुभमतेः श्री भैमी भूमिपतेः श्रीमत्सोदर रामवर्म युवराजार्याज्ञया तन्यते तंत्रं शंकरवर्मणेदमखिल ज्योतिर्विदां प्रीतये. There are some meters on this. I am not reciting with the meters because the meters are all not very common meters. I am also not expert in meters. So there is a question, the Protsahanam, was it a part of the text? It is a part of the text. Most of the texts are like this. They write elaborate introduction also as a part of the shlokas. So first of all, they, and in most of the texts, Shastric texts, you will see Mangalacharanam, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 shlokas, and also their Vamshavali and all these things. And then only they really start the subject matter of the text. So that is a very common way of writing. So they don't directly start writing the material because that is a Sanskriti they follow. They do not say that, okay, I am the writing everything. Just like when we are starting a car and going, we first fill the petrol, everything, we make sure that everything is correct. And we acknowledge that, okay, only if all these things are correct, we can even take the journey. Like that, here Guru's grace and God's grace are very important. And also he is very, he acknowledges and is very grateful to his brothers who have inspired him to write this book. So that is what he is telling in this. Shri Porlatri Vamsha Nautika Manehe Pradachedha Shri Porlatri Vamsha Nautika Manehe Shri Keralalankratehe Aryasya Udayavarmanaha Shubhamatehe Shri Bhaimi Bhumipatehe Srimatsodara Ramavarma Yuvarajarya Agnyaya Tanyate Tantram Shankaravarmana Idam Akhila Jyotirvidam Pritaye Iti Padachyedaha. Tarhi Padaparichayam Pashyamah. Shubhamatihi Itikte Shubhamatihi Yasya Saha. Atra Shubhamatihi Iti Asti Tasya Arthaha Shubhamatihi Shobhanam Matihi Shobhana Matihi Iti Vaktum Shaknumah. Shri Bhaimi Bhumi Patehe Itikte Ghatotkacha Raja. Atra Bhaimi Ityet Bhimasya Idam Bhaimi Iti Ghatotkachaha भीमस्य पुत्रः आसीत्, अतः तस्य देशस्य नाम घटोत्कचपुरम् इति तस्य राजा अस्ति। अनन्तरं तन्त्रम् इत्युक्ते कृतिं तन्त्रं नाम द कम्पोसिशन् आर् द वर्क् इति वक्तुं शक्नुमः। अखिलज्योतिर्विदां सर्वेषां शास्त्रज्ञानाम् इति। अखिलज्योतिर्विदाम् इत्युक्ते ज्योतिर्वित् इति चेत् ज्योतिषः इति, द वन् हू नोस् ज्योतिषशास्त्रम्। अखिलज्योतिर्विदाम् इत्युक्ते द एण्टैर् whole group of people who know Jyotish Shastram, Sarvesham Jyotish Shastrajnanam इति अर्थः। So somebody is pointing out this probably Shardula Vikadism, probably it is. I am not a very much trained in identifying the meters and reciting that meter, so I'll just keep it as reading like prose. अस्तु, तर्हि श्लोकार्थः श्री पोर्लातिरि वंश मौक्तिकमणेः। अत्र प्रथमं उदयवर्मा इति राजा, तस्य विशेषणानि श्रीपोर्लात्रिवंशमौक्तिकमणिः सः, तस्य षष्ठीविभक्तिः श्रीपोर्लात्रिवंशमौक्तिकमणेः उदयवर्मणः श्रीकेरलालङ्कृतः कृतेः, केरलस्य अलङ्कृतिः अस्ति सः, श्रीकेरलम् अलङ्करोति, केरलमेव अलङ्करोति, अतः श्रीकेरलालङ्कृतेः श्रीभैमीभूमिपतेः, सः भैमीभूमिपतिः अस्ति, सः तस्य घटोत्कचपुरस्य राजा आसीत्, अतः भैमीभूमिपतेः शुभमतेः, तस्य शोभनं मतमस्ति मतिः अस्ति। अनन्तरम् आर्यः इत्युक्ते कल्चर्ड् पर्सन्, सो आर्यस्य उदयवर्मणस्य श्रीमत् सोदर रामवर्म युवराजाद्य आज्ञया, सो बेसिकली उदयवर्मणस्य सोदरः इति रामवर्म, तर्हि उदयवर्मा एव अग्रजः, तस्य अनुजः रामवर्मा अस्ति। So Ramavarma was the person who actually inspired Shankaravarma to write this book. So he's first saying Udayavarma, and then he's saying Srimat Sodara Ramavarma Yuvarajarya Agneya. So Udayavarma's brother Ramavarma, and he is now having a big list of adjectives for Udayavarma, and then he's saying such a person Udayavarma was, and he's saying Udayavarma's brother Ramavarma, who's a Yuvarajarya Agneya. So he was a Yuvaraja, and he, based on his inspiration, or he only asked me to write this book. Agneya idam tantram Shankaravarmana sarvesham jyotishastrajnanam prityartham tanyate. Tanyate iti chet rachyate iti artha. So rachanam kurumah, rachanam karomi iti artha. So the tanu dhatuhu, it is tanoti iti कर्तरि प्रयोगे, अत्र तन्यते इति कर्मणि प्रयोगः। अत्र तन्त्रं तन्यते, किमर्थं ज्योतिषशास्त्रज्ञानां प्रीत्यर्थं क्रियते, तन्यते इति अर्थः। So that is the so what is the vibhakti of मौक्तिकमणेः? षष्ठी विभक्तिः, यतः अत्र सर्वे षष्ठी विभक्ति सर्वे शब्दाः षष्ठी विभक्त्याम् अस्ति। मौक्तिकमणिः मौक्तिकमणेः इति षष्ठी विभक्तिः। Yes, Shankaravarma, the question is Shankaravarma related to Udayavarma and Ramavarma? Yes. So there were three brothers. Udayavarma was the eldest, Ramavarma was the middle, Shankaravarma was the youngest. So Shankaravarma was had two elder brothers, Udayavarma and Ramavarma. And Ramavarma was the person who really inspired him, and he pushed him to write this book. तर्हि ग्रन्थनिर्माणे प्रोत्साहनं प्रथमः श्लोकः। अस्तु, इदानीं द्वितीयः श्लोकः। क्वेदमतिनिगूढार्थं ज्योतिषशास्त्रं क्वचाहमालसमतिः श्रीगुरुचरणाम्बुरुह स्मरणं किं न साधयति। क्वेदमतिनिगूढार्थं खेदम् अतिनिगूढार्थं ज्योतिषशास्त्रं क्वचाहमलसमतिः श्रीगुरुचरणाम्बुरुह स्मरणं किं किं न साधयति इति। क्व इदम् अतिनिगूढार्थं ज्योतिषशास्त्रं क्व च अहम् अलसमतिः श्रीगुरुचरणाम्बुरुह स्मरणं किं किं न साधयति। पुनः गुरुस्मरणमेव करोति. So he's saying Protsahanam is not only just Ramavarma, his gurus also have inspired him to write this book. So he can't, he's again and again coming and telling Guru Smaranam, all this. So this is the modesty which a lot of people, all authors in the Indian Shastra tradition have it. And they don't just say, okay, I am the most intelligent person and I'm writing this book. Like Westerners do it. A lot of Westerners do it, that, okay, they want to take credit on this. But here he is only being modest and writing all these things. So, and that is the thing which we see in all Indian Shastra. So that is very important, which that's one important message here. So, तर्हि क्व इदम् अतिनिगूढार्थं ज्योतिषशास्त्रं क्व च अहम् अलसमतिः श्रीगुरुचरणाम्बुरुह स्मरणं किं किं न साधयति इति। अत्र अतिनिगूढार्थम्, अतिनिगूढः अर्थः यस्मिन् तत्। अतिनिगूढः इत्युक्ते निगूढः, गूढः इत्युक्ते इट् इस् सीक्रेट्, निगूढः इत्युक्ते ग्रेट् डीप् सीक्रेट्, अतिनिगूढः इत्युक्ते वेरी डीप् सीक्रेट्. Deep secret means it's not very easy to just understand very easily. Not secret, it is an open secret, like, but it is very difficult to just understand the details of it very easily. Iti arthaha. Atinigoodaha arthaha yasmin tat atinigoodartham jyotishshastram. Iti atra atinigoodartha iti visheshanam asti, jyotishshastram iti tatra तस्य विशेषणं ज्योतिषशास्त्रम् इति पदस्य विशेषणमस्ति, विशेष्यमस्ति ज्योतिषशास्त्रम्। अतिनिगूढार्थम् अतिनिगूढः अर्थः यस्मिन् तत् अतिनिगूढार्थम् अलसमतिः, अलसामतिः यस्य सः. So he calls himself, my mind is very lazy, and such a person who is not a very has not a very sharp mind and very fast mind. Mine is I am a dull-minded person. Kwa idam atinigoodartham jyotish-shastram, kwa cha aham alasamatihi. So I am such a dull-witted person, and how can I write a big? It is one a book on Jyotish-shastram which has deep meanings. Iti tarhi tasya samadhanam saha vadati. Shri Guru Charanam Buruha Smaranam kim kim na sadhayati. Amburuha ityukte kamalam. Charanam Buruha iti. Shri Guru Charanam Buruha Smaranam. Shri Guru Padakamala Smaranam kim kim na sadhayati. If you just meditate or you pray to gurus, that itself will give you the grace to write this book. This is point. Yes. So Gudharthaha iti atra prashnaha asti. Gudaha iti chet very subtle and therefore not obvious and easy to grasp. Correct. So that's what it means. So Gudharthaha means it is not very obvious. So it is, you need to think about it, and it is something to be thought about and understood. Is Gudharthaha. Correct. Okay. Tarhi shlokasya arthaha kaha. Kwa idam atinigoodartham jyotish-shastram. Kwa cha aham alasamatihi. Where is this Jyotish-shastram? Where am I? Shri Guru Charanam Buruha Smaranam kim kim na sadhayati. Iti Kamala Padakamala Smaranam, Guru Charana Padakamala Smaranam kim kim na sadhayati. Iti saha vadati. Atra yata Kalidasa Raghuvamshe vadati. Kwa Surya Prabhaho Vamshaha Kvachalpa Vishaya Matihi. Iti. So here Raghuvamsha, in Raghuvamsha Kalidasa says, where is Raghuvamsha? It is such a great Vamshaha. And I am like alpa vishaya matihi. So my mind is a very small thing, and it doesn't even think about it thinks about very small things. And how can this mind write about some great kings who were in the Raghuvamsha? So similarly, Kalidasa also writes in Raghuvamsha. So it's a similar thing that, okay, just showing their modesty. The authors showing their modesty. Okay, so there is one question here. Atinigoodaha arthaha yasmin tat iti yasya tat iti parantu arthaha yasmin अस्ति शास्त्रे अर्थः अस्ति इति एव मम चिन्तनं यस्य तदपि सम्यगेव इति चिन्तयामि अत्र षष्टिबहुव्रीहिः अपि सम्यक् एव यस्य तदपि सम्यक् परन्तु यस्मिन् तत् अपि सङ्गच्छते इति मम मतिः so I think सप्तमी also goes through but षष्टि also is fine okay so ग्रन्थनिर्माणे प्रोत्साहनम् इति तथा अस्ति इदानीं we will so this ends the introduction part of it where he is praying and he's gaining the grace of all the acharyas, the devatas and all these things, and he also is acknowledging the support of his brothers. Just like any book, they write an acknowledgement and all these things in the beginning and then they start the book. So we are also like, as we read this, we also gain the grace of God and also all the gurus, so that we are also now ready to embark on this journey to understand this text, the first two chapters of this text. So let us also pray to acharyas and all these things, all these gods, and then we will start our journey. Okay. So this grace is very important, and as I said in our Shastra, this grace is very important, and they don't say that because it's only because of me I did all these things. This is our Sanskriti. Asmakam Sanskriti esha. Evam Ganana iti. So counting. So we start any mathematical text. The basic thing is counting. So Indians were they actually contributed to the counting tradition of the world, right? Ataha Ganana asti atra ekam jayati. So 1, 2, 3. These are the digits which we use to count. And dasha angulyaha santi. Asmakam dasha angulyaha santi. Ataha dashamika sankhya paddhati. Just because we have 10 fingers, we follow the decimal system. That is all. Basically, just because the computer can only understand zeros and ones, it is using the binary number system. So why do we use decimal number system? Is because we have 10 fingers. So in Latin, or I think it's in Latin, the digit means a finger. The fingers in our hand means the word for that is digit. So it is very clear that we use decimal number system because we are having 10 fingers. Let us say we had 11 or 15 fingers or 12 fingers. So we will be using that base number system. That's all. So ataha ganana evam kriyate. So based on our fingers, the number of fingers in our hand, we use a decimal number system. Ataha dashamika sankhya paddhatihi nama. This is we have using a decimal system. Sorry, I want to just go back, and there was a question. Kwa is the same as screen. Kwa itte kutra iti artha. Where? So kwa itte kutra iti artha. Kwa idam atinigudartham jyotishshastram. Where is this? Kwacha aham alasamatihi. So where am I and where is this? So kwa iti kutra ityasya anuvadaha iti chintajitam. You can think of it as where. So we use a decimal number system because we have 10 fingers. Okay. So now sankhya sthanani iti श्लोकद्वयं लिखति तदपि पठामः इदानीम् एकं दश शतं चात सहस्रम् अयुतं क्रमात् नियुतं प्रयुतं कोटिरर्बुदं वृन्दमप्यथ खर्वो निखर्वश्च महापद्मः शङ्कुश्च वारिधिः अन्त्यं मध्यं परार्धं च संख्या दशगुणोत्तराः इति। तर्हि पुनः पठामि एकं दश शतं चात सहस्रम् अयुतं क्रमात् नियुतं प्रयुतं कोटिरर्बुदं वृन्दमप्यथ खर्वो निखर्वश्च महापद्मः शङ्कुश्च वारिधिः अन्त्यं मध्यं परार्धं च संख्या दशगुणोत्तराः इति। So here Shankara Verma first starts at what are the sankhya sthanani. Sankhya sthanani is the place, the name of the place values. So basically we know the place value system. So the name of those things. So he says ekam dasha शतं च अत्र पदच्छेदः एकं दश शतं च अथ सहस्रम् अयुतं क्रमात् नियुतं प्रयुतं कोटिः अर्बुदं वृन्दम् अपि अथ कर्वः निखर्वः महापद्मः शङ्कुः वारिधिः अन्त्यं मध्यं परार्धं च संख्याः दशगुणोत्तराः. So sankhyaha dashagunottaraha naam kim. So each of these, if you go in the uttaraha. So basically, if you go from left to right, it is 10 times each. So ekam, dasha is 10 times ekam. Shatam is 10 times dasha. Iti arthaha. Sahasram is 10 times shatam. Iti. Tatha sankyaha dashagunottaraha. And he is giving the names of those numbers. So let's look at this. Ekam. Ekam. Iti. Ekam. Dasha. Shatam. 1000 is sahasram. 10,000 is ayutam. Niyutam. 10 to the power 5. Prayutam is 10 to the power 6. Kotihi, 10 to the power 7. Adbudam, 10 to the power 8. Vrindam is 10 to the power 9. Kharvaha, 10 to the power 10. Vikharvaha, 10 to the power 11. Mahapadmaha, 10 to the power 12. Shankuhu, 10 to the power 13. Varidihi, 10 to the power 14. Antyam, 10 to the power 15. Madhyam, 10 to the power 16. Parardham, 10 to the power 17. So 17 powers of 10 has been listed. So there are 18 names here. So 10 to the power 0 to 10 to the power 17. So the 18 Sanya Shabdaha Santi. So there are 18 technical words, technical terms, and they are the names of the places. So basically, for example, the Sthanasya Namani Santi. Ekam, Dasha, Shatam, Sahasram, Ayutam, Niyutam, Prayutam, Kotihi, Arbudam, Vrindam, Kharvaha, Nikharvaha, Mahapadmaha, Shankuhu, Varidihi, Antyam, Madhyam, Parardham. Iti Saha Sthanani Likati. Sankyaha, Anantara Sankyaha, Dashagunottaraha, iti Likati. So basically, he is very clearly saying that each one is 10 times the previous one. That's all. So there is a question, how do you say 10 to the power of 10 in Sanskrit? Ghataha iti uchyate. Ghataha. So it is a technical term again, ghataha. Power 10. So ghataha, jighataha, trighataha iti vaktum shaknumah, powers. Okay, so there are some questions. Okay, so there is a question, very good question. Earlier mathematicians such as Jaina mathematicians recorded even large numbers. Why does this later text stop at 10 to the power 17? So 10 to the power 17 is a very commonly parardhantam, parardha, antyam is it's a very common, even Lilavati stops, many of the texts stop at 10 to the power 17 because they think that Jyotish Shastram is only, it's needed only till 17, I think. I'm not sure, but 10 to the power 17 is most of the texts stop at 10 to the power 17. There is a very good point here. The earlier Jaina mathematicians also wrote till long numbers, and that will be part of your homework. Okay, so I'm already telling you that there will be a homework question on writing all the points till higher powers of 10. Okay. There is another question. Why did the term Laksha come into existence? I will talk about it later. Is there anything after Parardham? So it's just the last. Yes. So there is lot. Jaina mathematicians have written numbers beyond Parardham also. So I think there are texts and there are references in the Jyotish Shastram about later higher numbers, but there are found in some Jain mathematician texts. Okay. So I will take some of the questions, which is, I will take all the questions, but based on the current slide, I will take, there are some questions in the previous slide, we'll come back to it towards the end of the class. So these are the names of this. So basically, this itself is a great thing from Indian mathematicians, but which is not there. Such large numbers were not even part of the Western mathematics tradition. So they did not, because they were using Roman numbers. We will talk about it later. अस्तु तर्हि कथं गणना क्रियते इति चेत् अत्र पश्यन्तु इफ् यु हाव् तर्हि तत्र इफ् यु हाव् दिस् सिङ्गल् थिङ्ग्स् यूनिट् प्लेसेस् एकं तदनन्तरं यदि एकस्य दश अस्ति एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि तथा नव दश यदि दश भवति तर्हि we can make a group of it and call it one dasha ekadasha. तर्हि एकदश दशद्वयम् अस्ति चेत् विंशतिः इति वदामः, त्रिंशत्, चत्वारिंशत् इति तथा अस्ति. So we can count as for how do we do counting? So there's a basic of all counting. So and none of the Indian mathematicians talk about it. So this is the most basic thing. So everybody know. So we start out with counting individual numbers, and then once we have a 10 of this, we make a group of thing and call it 10. That's all. And then so on. So if we have a group of 10 tens, we make it a one shatam, ekashatam, द्विशतं, त्रिशतम् इति तथा गच्छति. तर्हि अत्र पश्यन्तु एषा संख्या अस्ति. सो देयर इज 1 2 4 7 इति संख्या अस्ति. तस्य अर्थः कः? सप्त एक सन्ति. एक इति सप्त सन्ति, दश इति चत्वारि सन्ति. इदानीं शतम् इति द्वे स्तः. So there is two things of the hundreds. एकं सहस्रम् अस्ति. अतः तस्य संख्यायाः अर्थः कः इति चेत् एवं लिखामः चेत् तस्य अर्थः कः इति चेत् एते एव इति अर्थः. So we understand that it is how this is grouped. So the unit places are grouped as singles, and whenever you have a 10, you group them up as 10, and whenever there is 100, you group them as 100. Whenever there's 1,000, you group them as 1,000. So that is what it means, right? So when I write this number, it means that there are 7 units, 4 tens. सप्त एकं चत्वारि दश द्वे शते अनन्तरम् एकं सहस्रम् इति वयम् अवगच्छामः. Okay, so this is what it means. So let's keep this in mind when we do calculations. So whenever I write some numbers like this, it means that this is what it sankhyayaha sthanani anantram dashagunottaraha. That's what he's packing up all these things in his shloka. So basically anantram prachina prayogaha api santi. So till this it's a point. I want to also tell that prachina prayogaha api santi. Atra vedamantre asti एकाच दश शतं च सहस्रं च आयुतं च नियुतं च नियुतं च प्रयुतं च अर्बुदं च न्यद्बुदं च समुद्रश्च मद्यं चान्तश्च प्रराद्धश्च तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु इति यजुर्वेदसंहितायां महान्यासः अस्ति. प्राचीनप्रयोगः इति किमर्थम् अहं लिखामि अत्र? It is not Shankara Verma who started this or Aryabhata who started this. It was always there, and we don't know when it was there. So which person who gave all these things, that this decimal number system, which whenever it started, nobody knows. You can keep on going beyond, and you'll find some text that, okay, in that text it was there, in the previous era text it was there. So people don't know when this was all started, but Indians knew the decimal value system, how to do this place value system and decimal counting for ages. Anantaram युधिष्ठिरः शकुनिम् उवाच महाभारते द्यूतपर्वणि पंचषष्टितमोऽध्याये. So this is a context in Mahabharata where in the Dyuta Parva, so Yudhishthira is playing the dice game with Shakuni, and Shakuni asks, how much wealth do you have? And then for that Yudhishthira answers, Ayutam prayutam chaiva shankum paddam tatharbudam kharve shankam nikharve cha mahapaddam cha kotayah madhyam chaiva paradam cha saparanchatra Panyatam etan namadhanam rajan tena divyam yaham tvaya. So he says, I have so much of wealth, I'm going to play with all these wealth with you. Okay. Tatrapi saha atra evam ayutam prayutam chaiva shankum paddam tatharbudam. He uses this place value system words and these numbers, large numbers, to tell how much wealth he has. So Mahabharata is again, the dating is around 2000. I don't know when it was, already prior 3,000 years or 3,500 years back. I don't know the exact dating, but my point is that Indian mathematicians were not, starting from Aryabhata, is not where these numbers, these words came from. It was already there in the previous mathematical from the in vogue in the Granthas and all these things. So that's my point here. Prachina Prayoga. In the Yajurveda Samhita, what Samudra means, here it exactly means those numbers. Eka cha dasha shatam sahasram atra samudraha iti chet tatra varidihi iti artha. that also I will talk about it. Samudra padam. Atra samudraha itkte atra varidihi iti purvam uktam. Varidihi nama 10 to the power 14. So all words which mean varidihi also means 10 to the power 14. Samudraha, saritam patihi iti agachati. We will talk about it later. But here all these are place value numbers, values of the places, or the names of the places. Okay. So Anya Ganita Granteshu Sthana Sanyaha. So in other texts other than Sadratnamala, there are. I'm also going to give homework on this, but let's take one example here. Ata dasha gunottaraha sanyaha ekam dasha shatam asmat sahasram ayutam tatah param laksham prayutam kotirathabudam abjam kharvam nikharvancha tasmat mahasarojam shankhum saritam patim tatastu antyam madhyam parardham ahuhu यथोत्तरं दशगुणाः संख्याः इति पाटीसारः त्रिशतिका. अत्र श्रीधराचार्यः इति एकः जैनः आसीत्. गणित पाटिगणितम् इति पुस्तकं लिखितवान्, ग्रन्थं लिखितवान्. तत्र पाटीसारः तत्र त्रिशतिका इत्यस्मिन् एतदस्ति. तत्र I just made it's most of them are similar, but there are some words, some terms which are different from what in Sadratnamala we see in Sadratnamala. So niyutam, laksham iti. So there was this new word laksham also, which is now in vogue. In place of niyutam, people started using laksham. So prayaha laksham iti api padam asti niyutam ityasya arthe. Anantaram vrindam iti purvam Sadratnamalayam drishtam padam. Atra abjam iti anyat padam asti. 10 to the power 9 is abjam here. For 10 to the 12 mahapadmam iti. Atra mahasarojam. Both mean the same actually. Sarojam api kamalam eva padmam eva. Atha mahapadmam mahasarojam iti. So samanartakaha shabdaha api tatra prayujyate. So it is, even though this is a technical term, people started using, because they understood the language, they use different words in the language meaning the same word as a technical term for this particular sankhya. Atha varidihi saritam patihi. Atra samudrascha iti drishtavantah vayam. Samudraha iti. Samudraha iti 10 to the power 14. Varidihi saritam patihi. Saritam patihi nadinam patihi samudraha iti uchyate. Atah samudraha api varidihi nama 10 to the power 14. Iti arte asti. Atah if you see different granthas, you might see different words for this. Some of them might be just same words of the same meaning. Apicha samanarthakaha shabdaha bhavanti. Athava kinchit bhinnam bhavanti. Atha niyutam laksham iti. So there was a question on laksham, so I think it answers this. Okay, I think I made a mistake in 10 to the 4 here. I think somebody is pointing out it should be 10 to the power 5. Let's see. Yes, correct. So I think I made a mistake here, so I will correct the slide. It should be 10 to the power 5. Laksha. Thank you. So that's another question. Let me see. Yeah, correct. Okay. Yes, Niyatam is 10 to the power 5. I will correct this slide. So this, I will give a homework problem. So this is just, as I said, we will also look at other granthas, iteresham grantesham granthanam avalokanam bhavatu. So I wanted to introduce you to other little mathematical texts by just giving you some words from that. So at least we know there are these granthas. So for example, Sridharacharya krite phati ganitam iti asti iti jnatum kinchit atra asti. So I will give you homework based on, I'll just give you the verse. You don't have to go to the source, but just look at it and see, okay, how all the mathematical texts are all similar in some aspects and all these things. At least we should know what are all the resources there. There is a treasure of mathematical texts out there. At least let's know the meaning, name of them. If we are not reading all the texts, just know the names of these things. So that's the goal here. Okay. So, okay, I will just finish with one more slide and we will take up some questions if some people have it. Sanyaha means technical words, definitions or technical terms. So Sanya means every Shastram has Sanya, technical terms, Paribhashika Shabdaha. For example, Samudraha here, it's a very apt example. Samudraha here doesn't mean the ocean here, right? It means that 10 to the power 14. So that's why it's very important to learn the Shastra in that language itself. So we cannot translate these words. Those are technical terms. We have to learn them in that language. First, Tanamana Siddhantah. So place value system. Etat vayam janimah eva. Sankhyaah dashagunottaraah. Iti atra sankhyaah nama tani api taah sankhyaah eva. Ekam dasha iti. It's not just a word. It's also a number. It is also a number, so it means it has a name for it, and it also it is overloaded a name for it, and it has also a value. So dasha means it has a value of 10, and also has a name for it. Sankhya sthanam eva sankhya nama. So sthanam eva nama. So there's in English we ask, okay, what is the value of this place? It's not, but here it is the values is this, and the place is also the same. So you cannot say the place tens place has the value 2 or something or 1. It cannot have. You can say that okay, dasha is dvigunitam dasham dasha iti vaktum shaknumaha. Dvigunitam dasha iti. So it is 2 times 10, so it's vimshatihi iti. Parantu it's a little bit of difference than English, the way we tell in English, the value of this place or something. Okay. Sankhya sthanam eva sankhya nama api. Dashasu ekaha amshaha dashamshaha. So here he in Shankaravarma also talks about fractions in this particular verse in his Malayalam commentary. He says dashasu ekaha amshaha dashamshaha. Amshaha evameva shatamshaha sahasramshaha. So dashamshaha is 1/10. Shatamshaha is 100s. Sahasramshaha is 1000s. So if you want to say one out of 1000, you can say Sahasramshaha, Dashamshaha, Shatamshaha, Dashamshaha. Iti sarva. You can talk. You can have Amshaha. Iti Nutanam Padam. Yadi Stanamanam Navotram Bhavati, Tarhi Agrimastanasya Vardhanam Bhavati. So we know this. So I told already. So if we have a group of 10, we can make it 10 units. We can make it 110, and we can take the 11th one as 1 unit and then 1/10. So that is what I've written here. Yadi Stanamanam Navotram Bhavati, Tarhi Agrimastanasya Vardhanam Bhavati. So like it's just like a carryover or something, if you will. So that is what is the concept behind the carry, right? Yes. So there is a question. Mahakamalam is also used for Mahapadmam. Yes, you can use it. Mahakamalam is Mahapadmam. Yes. Mahapadmam, Mahasarojam, Mahakamalam. Parantu aham na janami. As any mathematician used as Mahakamalam, I don't know. But it is possible. So there are some hands raised. I will stop here and we will continue in the next class. So there are some hands raised. Let me see. Arun Kumar Pangavel, you can talk now.
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
Shruayate va?
Shruayate.
Are there any prakriya for the derivation of the words shatam, dasha, sahasram, ityadiyah?
Prakriya अस्ति वा इति न जानामि. इदानीं संज्ञा इति अस्मिन् अस्मिन् वर्गे वयं तु तत्र व्युत्पत्तिं न पठामः, अतः एतत् संज्ञाशब्दः इति स्वीकृत्य गच्छामः अग्रे इत्येव मम मतम्.
यदि वयं तेषां नामानि दृश्यामः चेत् सर्वे अब्धिः जलम् इत्यादयः दृश्यते. कोऽपि रीसन् बिहैण्ड् अस्ति वा?
न जानामि. अहं न जानामि अत्र प्रायः कारणमस्ति वा इति अहं न जानामि. तावदेव अत्र संज्ञाशब्दानाम् एवं न पृच्छ्यते. So we should not ask questions like why is this technical term named this way. That is a reason, and we don't know that. Right now we don't know that. And I don't think any book talks about why For example, in Vyakarana Shastram, why is Panini using Vriddhihi Gunaha? He just used it, that's it. Why did he use Vriddhihi means there is no answer for that. And no, not even Mahabhashyam will answer that question. So there was a question about maybe know today's homework and at the end and how to submit. So in this class, I will not provide homework because I have not covered much. So from next class, we will have homeworks. Okay, so yeah, so that we will, I will give it to the other panelist. He will show you how to use the discussion forum. So if you have questions, if you want to have discussions, you can use it there. Before that, I just wanted to answer one question. There is a Bahuvrihi Samasa question. I will just answer that. And so alasamatihi yasya saha. So alasamatihi atra pullinga shabdaha asti. Yatohi Bahuvrihi Samasa asti. Parantu matihi iti strilinga shabdaha. Atha alasamatihi yasya saha alasamatihi Shankaravarma iti vaktum shaknuमः. Astu. Dhanyavadah. So Bharat, you can answer. Take over.
Ram.
You can also share the screen if you want.
Yes, I'm doing that. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
So once everyone comes into your dashboard, you will find you will be able to see this as your dashboard. So there are two ways to contact have discussions with the teacher. One is go directly into the curriculum page, like so, and then say you're going through the PDF. If you just scroll down a little bit over here, you can see this here. You can just click on create a new post where the discussion is given, create a new post, type what you want to do it and post it. So this will be available here and also will be shown on the teacher's dashboard, from where he will be, the teacher will be able to comment and answer your questions. The other method that you can reach out is on your dashboard, where you can see on the top here where my name is given, and then in the same line, if you see this here, click over here, you have a feedback and messages option. So you can just click on the messages option over here and then click on the new button here. So you want to say what you want, whom you want to send the message to. Select the teacher, and then the list of the teachers are given here. You can look for the teacher here. There. And then when you click on create, and then you can enter your message here and send it. So the teacher will receive the message, and then he will be able to answer to your questions. Any questions?
There are people who raised their hands.
Few raised hands. Do you want to take it or?
Yeah. Okay, let's take. So I know Sriram Mangadesh told he had a question in the subject matter, but maybe we'll take a question from Aditi. So she wants. You can go ahead, Aditi.
We are not able to mark the audio section complete. So what should we do?
The audio section. Even if you do not want to listen to the audio needs to run at least for 30 seconds before, without fast forwarding it. The audio needs to run for 30 seconds before you can mark it as completed.
Okay, thank you.
Jairamji?
Yes, Mr. Bharadwaj, I've used this feedback, what you just showed me in another course.
Okay.
I never received any response from the teacher. So I don't know if it is really functional.
Depends. That depends on the teacher. Sometimes the
Okay.
teacher sees this one, sometimes they don't. But however, our teacher will be looking at this more, this one
Okay.
regularly.
Yeah,
So
I will.
sure
I
you
will surely look at the things. Hopefully, I'm also new to this, but hopefully I'll get familiar with this. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Meghraj.
Sir, how can we speak that number 1247 in Sanskrit?
तस्मिन् विषये अहम् अग्रिमे वर्गे वदामि. So I will talk about it in the next class. So अङ्कानां वामतो गतिः इति अस्ति, तस्य विषये अहं वदामि किञ्चित् अग्रे.
Okay.
I'll talk about it next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so there is another. So Sriram Venkatesh, can you unmute and talk?
नमस्ते आचार्य. समुद्रः इति शब्दस्य अन्य अर्थं 10 to the power 14 वा आचार्य?
आम्, सत्यम्.
कस्य ग्रन्थे समुद्रः इति अस्ति आचार्य?
किम्?
कस्य ग्रन्थे समुद्रः इति शब्दम् अस्ति आचार्य?
अहं दर्शितवान् खलु, अत्र यजुर्वेदसंहितायाम् अस्ति.
अस्तु आचार्य. अहं किमर्थं पृच्छामि चेत् स्लैड् मध्ये वारिधिः अस्ति.
स्लैड् मध्ये वारिधिः अस्ति, परन्तु अत्र समुद्रः इति अस्ति.
अस्तु आचार्य, धन्यवादः आचार्य.
धन्यवादः. अस्तु, अत्र समापयामः वयम्. अहं मङ्गलश्लोकम् उक्त्वा समापयामि. मङ्गलश्लोकमत्रैव. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शृण्वन्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. धन्यवादः.